Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Shaurya Pandey. I'll be teaching you Python for the next playlist. So all of you might remember that in the last episode we looked about how you can about what is Python, how you can install Python, how you can install an IDE, which is an integrated development environment. Last time we installed Visual Studio Code. So in this video it's going to be pretty much about a theoretical part of Python. So without wasting any time, let's move on. Just going to open Visual Studio Code over here. uh, so let me actually just open a folder. I'm going to be opening my YouTube folder. As you can see, it's opened. So I'm just going to close this file. I'm going to close this too. Or actually, you know what, it's okay, I'm just going to keep it. So this is what we're going to study today. We are going to study about variables. Okay, we're going to study about variables. We're going to study about the input command in Python. After input command in Python, we're going to see comments in Python. And after that we are going to also learn about after comments we are also going to learn about the syntax. What is syntax in Python? So all of this is going to be covered by us today in this video. So first of all, I'm going to be teaching you variable. So what is a variable? So variable is, let's say, text or a word in which we can save certain values, certain numbers, certain words, or maybe even a program. So variable can be anything. Okay, variable can be literally anything. It just has to be in text. A variable can be var, it can be r, it can be anything which you want to keep. Any text is a variable. So this was pretty much variables, nothing much. It's just any type of text which can save a value, numbers, words, or a program. Okay, so this was variable. Now we're going to see a live example on variables. Let's say you went to the supermarket. You went to the supermarket and you bought some bread and tomatoes. You bought home some bread and some tomatoes. So what you did is you came home and then and then from inside the handbag which you had taken inside the supermarket, you took out the bread and the tomatoes and kept them inside a cupboard or a box. Okay, for now I'm just going to be using the example a cupboard. So inside the cupboard you stored the bread and the tomatoes. Okay, so that was basically variable, but in a life example. So variable is just like a cupboard. The variable is the cupboard and the value is the bread or the tomato. Okay, so this was variables. Now let's see the input command in Python. So just before I start the input command, I would also like to tell you one more thing. In the last episode we saw that we had installed something called code runner. Just going to install that. Yeah, so we had installed something called code runner, but as we are learning the input programming Python, I would recommend you to take out the code runner extension. I'm also going to take it out. uh, just click on uninstall. I'll just show it to you again. Just click on uninstall and it will uninstall by itself. You just have to go back, close this. Okay, so now we are going to start the input command. So let me just make a new file. Just make a new file over here. Second tut.py. So now we're going to learn about the input command. So what is the input command? So now over here I've defined a variable. I called it var. Okay, I called it var. The variable is var. So the variable name is var, and inside the variable I've stored a command. Over here I would actually like to tell that it can also be a command. So I have stored a command, the input command. Okay, so inside the variable there is a command called the input command. So what is the input command? By input we understand that the computer is taking the data which it needs to run a program from the user. Okay, so over here it is trying to take some information. It is taking the information about what is the user's name. It is asking what is your name. So let me just copy this very quickly. It's nothing, you just have to define a variable and then you just have to take an input. I'll actually just show it to you once again. So in Python you just have to name a variable. In this I'm just going to call this variable cupboard. Okay, it can be literally anything. Okay, cupboard is equal to input, then in brackets double inverted commas, what is your name, and then I'm just going to save it. So now it basically, what it is doing, it's going to take input from me, which means I'm the user. It's going to take the input of what is your name. So let me just run this quickly. I'll just kill the terminal and I'll run it again. Yeah, so as you can see it has successfully executed the file. Now it is asking for my name, and you will notice that when you click over here, there's a kind of cursor which is appearing. So all you have to do, you just have to type your name. Okay, I'm going to type my name, and as you can see it can take the input. If I click on enter, the command is executed and it automatically shuts down. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little thing. So that was just the input command. Okay, you have successfully finished the input command. Okay, so now also after the input command, there's another thing which I would like to teach in this tutorial, the if else statement. The if else statement is also very, very, very simple, but also it is very important. So let's look at if and else statements. So by just listening to if and else, what do you understand? It means it is either saying if or it is saying else. It is saying if you have done something like this, do this, else if you haven't done that, do something else. So that is the main idea of if and else statement. I'm just going to write if and then the name of the variable. Okay, I'm taking the name of the variable over here, which is cupboard. Cupboard. Okay, cupboard. If cupboard is equal to Shaurya. Okay, Shaurya. If cupboard is equal to Shaurya, print hi Shaurya. Else print sorry, I don't know you. Okay, so I just typed in the if and else statement. So let me just look at it. Let me just tell you more about it. So if and else statement is basically what it is doing. The input command is inside this variable called cupboard. So over here it says that if inside cupboard the input given by the user is Shaurya, then you have to print hi Shaurya, or else if it is not Shaurya, then you have to print oh sorry, I do not know you. So I'm just going to save that and I'm going to run it. As you can see, it ran perfectly normal. I'm just going to run that again. Yeah, so what is your name? Let's say my name is Mike. So it is saying sorry, I do not know you. Why? Because my name, meaning Shaurya, has not been passed over here. Okay, so now if I run this again and I type Shaurya, it is saying hi Shaurya because it triggered this command over here. Okay, so now if and else statement was a very simple subject or a very simple command in Python, though it is very important, but it is still very simple. So now let me just put double slash for everything which we have done. So we have completed variables, we have completed input command, we have completed if else statement. Now what is left is comments in Python. So now I'm going to give you another example. Let's say that you are working in a company which makes software. Okay, which makes software. You are a coder. Okay, you are a coder and you have to go to a certain place. Okay, you have to go to a certain place, and to do that to do that you have to leave your work. Okay, like you developed a very big code of 1000 or let's say 10,000 lines, and you have to go to your vacation or the place you are going to. Okay, so you made a code which was of 10,000 lines, and uh, your boss asked that you are going, I'm okay with that, but what about the other things, like who will complete your code? So all you have to say at that time is you tell your boss that maybe my junior will do all the things which I am leaving behind. So your boss says, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine with it, I'm fine with your junior doing that. So you also agree, your boss also agrees. Both of you do your work, okay? But when your junior comes to your desktop, he sees that all the files you have made, he sees that it's such a big line of code, but how will I develop? I do not understand anything. Like how much time would I have to spend just reading the code? So just to make the work easier, we use comments in Python. So it is very easy to implement comments in Python. All you have to do in the code is you just have to put in hashtag, and after hashtag you have to type any kind of thing which you want to type, and it is basically more of something which you would like to tell. So over here, let's say I want to tell the person viewing my code that this is the if else statement in Python. So now I have put this code over here. Okay, now I'll save it and now I'll run it. So as you can see, it is an error. Why is there an error? Because I forgot to put the hashtag. If you put hashtag in any part of the code, that part of the code will not run. Okay, so I'll just save it again and I'll run the thing again. So as you can see, it is again functional. So let me just go ahead and put my name again. It's still working. Okay, sorry, I just put a caps lock. I'll just do it again. So yeah, I'll just put my name again. So as you can see, it's still functional. It basically just skips over that line of code. Okay, so that was a very easy part. So now we have finished with comments in Python also. Okay, so now we are moving on to syntax. Syntax is nothing related to code basically. I'm just going to tell that in theory. So what is syntax in Python? So uh, every programming language has certain rules and regulations which have to be followed, while coding. Okay, there are all the different types of foundations and everything which you have to follow if you're working in that programming language. Okay, so basically syntax is the rule which you use in Python to code. Okay, so this was it. Basically syntax is finished. Okay, that was syntax. Just for another brief, I'm just going to type this is the this is the thing which you this is the rule or the regulation regulation you use to code in Python, or else if you do not use it, then you will have errors in your code. Okay, so this was all. If you would like to take a screenshot of the start over here, you can just do that. I'll just make the font a bit smaller so it is easier for you to take the screenshot. Okay, so I'll just be freezing over here. Just a second. Yeah, I'll just be freezing over here. You can take your screenshot over here if you would like to take a screenshot. So yeah, that's it for today. For this tutorial, I will be posting more videos if there is more support for me. So thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching in the end. Bye.